Hi there. I've got my sweet potatoes for this year, so I'm quite excited about it. I thought I would share what I've got. Last year was our first year in the allotment, and I almost didn't even grow potatoes because I'm not a big fan. However, I thought, what's an allotment without potatoes? So I did get some first earlies in the end, and they were so delicious, I can't tell you. So I'm converted, obviously. This year I've probably gone over the top. I've gotten 3 different lots, and our allotment is small and I don't know how I'm going to fit them in. However, I know I've got room for my first earlies. I've also got some second earlies which I have to fit some way, and my main crop I'm going to keep in the garden. You might have seen the video where we cleared a raspberry patch in our garden, and that's where I'm going to put them. So I'll just show you what I've got. There, that's my first earlies. They are called Pentland Javelin. Apparently they are not the earliest of early first earlies, and you can also leave them in the ground for a bit longer to mature and yield a higher crop. So that suits us fine, so we can just start digging them up when the first ones are ready, and then after that leave them in and just pick them as we want them. I'm going to put them into these trays, which are pretty ideal to start chitting them. It took ages last year, I don't know why, for my potatoes to sprout, and so I was a bit late getting them in. I don't want that to happen this year, although to me they already look as if they're starting to sprout. So that's Pentland Javelin. I've got some Charlottes. Everybody seems to grow them, so we'll give them a try and see how they go. Them in there. And the other ones I've got are called, these are my main crop, these are called Picasso. High yield, stores well, perfect. I'll have to get another tray to put them in, I don't want to get them all mixed up. So that's my potatoes, great. The other thing I want to show you is this is ochre. We grew this last year. I grew quite a few different and unusual style of things. What I discovered was the reason that nobody grows them and they're unusual is because most of the time they're not that great. They either don't taste that great, or they don't grow very well, or they're awkward. And I grew Jerusalem artichokes, we're still digging them up now. They're alright, I wouldn't grow them again, the taste's not that great. We grew salsify, which is a kind of weird, skinny, hairy parsnip without the sweet taste. Again, I wouldn't grow them again. I grew agretti, which was like a kind of teeny little, it's supposed to be like a land salsify. Rubbish, would never grow that again, it hardly grew. Anyway, the one thing I did grow, which was fantastic, is ochre. It's also called New Zealand yam, and it is beautiful. I can really recommend it. The little tubers, I'll show you, I've saved these ones. These are the really small ones. Oops. Anyway, I don't know whether you can see. Just little yellowy tubers, which you just plant. You have to keep them in the greenhouse right up until June, I think it was. And then you can plant them out, and you keep them in the ground until the frost has killed back the foliage, and then 3 weeks after that you dig them up. They're really delicious. They are like sweet, nutty, lemony flavour. My son described it as the best chip shop chips he'd ever had. They almost taste like they've got vinegar on, lemony, sharp. You just eat them in place of potatoes. You don't get a massive crop, you just get a small crop off them, but definitely be growing them again. Really, really nice. I'll also show you this. They are my sweet potatoes. I grew sweet potatoes last year. I wouldn't buy them again. It cost £10 for 5 slips, which is like the little sprouting growth. And there's no way I got £10 worth of sweet potatoes off that. So it's not viable in that sense. What I have done though is I'm trying to propagate my own. These were a few of the little ones that came out of my crop, and you put them cut them in half, suspend them with cocktail sticks, put them in a jam jar, and eventually, this has taken about 2 months, mind, they sprout and grow these little leafy growths, and once these get big enough, probably I'll see if they can get to that size, I'll take them off there and you plant them right up to the neck of the leaves in your pot and let them grow on in the greenhouse. Then you put them in the ground and you get your sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes are not really, well, they're certainly not indigenous to this country, to the UK, and they have been bred so that we can grow them in the UK. However, we're in the north, and it makes everything much harder to grow. So my theory is, if I can get these to work, like I grew these little sweet potatoes, if I can get these to work and propagate them again next year, and maybe do that over a few years, I'm going to hopefully develop a nice hardy little sweet potato that will grow quite well up here. So that's just a little experiment, and we'll see how that goes. There's a long way to go yet before I've got success with that. There's a few more stages. So there you go, that's my tubers for this next coming year. It's quite exciting. We're only in January, but things are moving on. So I'll keep you updated on how all this goes. See you later, bye.